Hey, how's it going, guys? So, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is out. I have watched it. There's so much in this film, so much happened, so much to talk about. So, let's talk about it. As you can see in the title, it's all spoilers. So, if you haven't watched it, do not say I haven't warned you, because I'm gonna be talking everything that I thought about this film, spoilers included. So let's start with the story first. So the film starts with America Chavez and a variant of Doctor Strange being chased by a demon. And the demon wants America Chavez's dimension hopping power. Stuff happens. America Chavez ends up in our Earth, meets up with our Strange and Wong, and we find out that the person who's responsible for sending that demon after her and who wants to steal her power is none other than Wanda Maximoff, who has been using the Darkhold that we saw received at the end of WandaVision, and she's trying to reunite with her kids, Billy and Tommy. So that's basically the premise of the story, right? So Wanda wants to be in a universe with her kids, and she wants America Chavez's power so she can hop dimension at her will. A lot of people have mentioned that the screenplay is the weakest point, and I somewhat agree. I mean, it does feel rushed. This film is like little more than 2 hours, like 2 hours 6 minutes. Sam Raimi has come out and said that there's 40 minutes that they had to cut out. Maybe that would have helped flesh out the story better. I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't seen the full cut. I would like to see it if there's ever gonna be one. But yeah, there's certain scenes that feel like it was rushed. Some of the story points don't feel justified, but I had fun watching it. So at the end of it, like I said, it's a comic book film. I go there to have fun, which I did, Next I want to talk about is the man himself, Sam Raimi. When Sam Raimi was brought to make this film, it automatically suggested that Marvel was trying to go a different route than their usual stuff, because Sam Raimi has such a distinct style and you can see his footprints all over this film. The specific camera angles, the soundtrack that's been used throughout the film, like the horror elements that are very Raimi-esque. And for the most part it works. I think the casual MCU fans are gonna be caught by surprise with how violent or gory this film is. I mean, compared to Marvel standards. And it has a lot of horror elements like jump scares and intense music and all that, so it might not resonate with everyone, but for me, I really enjoyed this different take. And it adds more flavor to MCU, which is now in its 28th film. So I appreciate that they go and apply different genres to their films. I think that's what makes Marvel so successful. And I'm so glad that Sam Raimi is making films again, because like I said, he's such a unique filmmaker, and I'm glad that he enjoyed making this, and I hope we can see more. It doesn't have to be comic book related, but more of Sam Raimi films in the future. Now let's move on to the performances. The main man, Benedict Cumberbatch. Like I said, Marvel hardly misses with their casting. I haven't looked back and be like, now that's a bad casting with Marvel. No, I think they do a really good job with casting their actors, and Benedict Cumberbatch is slowly entering that pantheon of actors like Robert Downey Jr. or Hugh Jackman or Chris Evans, where he has become Doctor Strange, and anyone else now wouldn't feel right playing the character. Anyone else playing Iron Man other than Downey would feel weird. And for me, I think Benedict Cumberbatch is entering that zone where he's so good as Doctor Strange. And this character has become such a quintessential figure in the MCU, and Cumberbatch carries it with such grace and power. And he has been asked to do a lot in this film with different variants and he managed to knock it out of the park. Him and Wong have always had this great chemistry, and Wong is such an underrated character in the MCU, and Benedict Wong plays it so well, even in this film. I think he's the best in this film. Sorcerer Supreme. It's part of the tradition. But yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch, Him and Wong have great chemistry, and also him and Christine Palmer, played by Rachel McAdams, who's portrayed a lot better here in this film than the first one, and I love their chemistry in this film a lot. And there's a line in this film where Doctor Strange tells Christine, like he goes, "I love you in every universe," and I think that's gonna be the new "I love you" 3000, because it's just such a cheesy dialogue, but fans are gonna use that, I believe so. And the next big performance, right? Elizabeth Olsen. Now, I might be a little biased here because I love the X-Men and the Maximoff twins have always been some of my favorite characters. But Elizabeth Olsen, I think, gives the best performance in all of MCU in this film. That's just me, but I really believe she does. She is bloody brilliant. You can almost say that she carries this film in her shoulder. A lot of people are saying that Scarlet Witch overshadows Doctor Strange in his own film, but the way I see it is like Doctor Strange is a protagonist, and Wanda is very much an antagonist in this film. And Marvel are notoriously known for having throwaway villains, so it's a great thing that sees a standout in this film. WandaVision showed us where Wanda is and how broken she is, and now with the Darkhold corrupting her, she's fully lost all of her sense of control, and she's willing to do anything to be with her kids, which is all that matters to her now. And it's a scary thing because Scarlet Witch is such a powerful character, and if there's nothing holding her back, chaos, as they say, it's chaos magic. She's gonna create chaos, and this film doesn't hold back in displaying her power. It gets brutal, trust me, trust me. And I was having a blast watching her wreak havoc because, like I said, I love Scarlet Witch, and to see her finally embrace her full power, well, not even full potential, like she could do worse, but just to see that little bit of what she can really do, I was enjoying it. And yeah, Lizzie absolutely knocks it out of the park. From action sequences to emotional ranges to dialogue delivery, I think Elizabeth Olsen in this film, absolutely superb. Continuing with performance, let's talk about the new entry to the MCU, America Chavez. I wasn't sure how I was gonna react to the character, and surprisingly, she's one of the standout for me. Her relationship with Doctor Strange is really the heart of the film, and she's really managed to hold her own in the film. The actress, she's very charming, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of Miss Chavez in the future. And yes, the Starship portal looks pretty dope, not gonna lie. Now let's talk about cameos, the thing people all over were excited for, looking forward to. And I think this is also where a lot of people seem to be disappointed with the film. And we as fans do this to ourselves, right? Where we read all these fan theories and we build up this unrealistic expectations, and when it doesn't happen, we feel cheated, we feel robbed. Same thing happened with WandaVision with the whole Mephisto fiasco, and it happens here as well. And to be fair, the film, the marketing, the promotion, the trailers, they didn't help either. Revealing Patrick Stewart's Xavier and the Illuminati in the trailer was one of the most bizarre decisions they've done. I don't know why you put that in the trailer. I don't know. It makes no sense. It made no sense. It gave people idea that if that's being shown in the trailer, that means the actual film will have even more. And sadly, it isn't. The Illuminati is all the cameos we get. And let's be honest, that scene doesn't really impact the bigger storyline, but it's a nice little fan service, which sadly they put in the trailer, so it ruined the surprise. Seeing Captain Carter in live action was so cool. I think Haley Atwell looks so great. Didn't care for the Maria Rambeau Captain Marvel, but I am glad that the actor who played Black Bolt in the Inhuman show was given another chance to play Black Bolt again. He looks sick, very comic accurate. So I'm glad that they brought him back and in acknowledge the existence of Inhumans. I hope we see more of Inhumans and more of the Terrigen Mist down the line. That would be very interesting. Seeing Sir Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier in his iconic green suit and the yellow hoverboard chair, it made me so happy. Like I said, X-Men for me is my favorite Marvel properties, and I don't care what anyone thinks about the Fox X-Men. I really enjoy it. I love it. They have special place in my heart. Sir Pat Stewart as Professor X is one of the most iconic comic book casting. And to see him enter, especially in that 90s animated theme music, I almost teared up. Like I was so giddy, so happy. Like that was, yes. I wish I had not known about it before going to the film. But the biggest, as much as I loved all of that, the biggest cheer up moment for me was seeing John fucking Krasinski as Reed Richards. Rumors had circulated that he was gonna be in the film, but just seeing him actually in it made me so happy because I love the Fantastic Four and I can't wait to see the first family done right. I hope he's actually been cast for the Fantastic Four film. I hope he comes back. He looked sick, he looked nice. And like I said, I just want a good Fantastic Four film, and it's just, those characters are so great, so full, so rich with stories, and Doctor Doom is such a great character and all of that. But I just can't wait to see a proper Fantastic Four film. But that's all the cameos that really were there, and Wanda basically murders all of them in the next scene, which I absolutely love because she's such a hardcore badass. And let her do whatever she wants, man. Like I said, Scarlet Witch is a crazy character, and they don't hold back. When she murders the Illuminati, wow, chaos. The violence is unreal. I loved it. Now let's talk about the multiverse. The film is called Multiverse of Madness, right? And that's where the biggest letdown of the film with me is how the multiverse is actually portrayed. Let's say how little part it plays in the film. Like they travel to different realities, but considering how Loki and Spider-Man No Way Home made the whole idea of multiverse sound so epic, in this film it doesn't really feel that grand at all. Yeah, we are introduced to the idea of the incursions, and maybe somewhere down the line that will play a part in Secret Wars. But the whole aspect of multiverse in this film felt very underwhelming. Like for a starter, right? I would have liked to see The Witcher be a The Witcher. Psh. I would like to see the Watcher be a part of this since he was in What If, and it would have been nice for them to flesh out the realities. Like instead of just going from one reality to another, like I would have liked to see the world building a little bit more instead of them just spending few couple minutes in one world jumping to another. Like I would like to see how different the different universes are, and sadly like we don't really get to. It just feels like, oh, we're just gonna jump it just for the sake of jumping it. So that's where my biggest letdown is. Like the multiverse did not feel that anything special at all. Like Multiverse of Madness, there wasn't really much madness going on. The final thing I want to talk about is, of course, the post-credit scenes. It has become a ritual to wait for the end credits for MCU films. And let's just say a lot of people weren't happy with the second end credit. Bruce Campbell, the great Bruce Campbell, has two cameos in this film. Of course, it's a Sam Raimi film, so I'm not surprised. First one is in the middle of the film where he's selling pizza rolls, and Doctor Strange puts a spell on him where his hand starts punching him, which I liked as a nod to the Evil Dead, which happens to him. Like Ash Williams, Evil Dead, one of my favorite horror characters ever, so I was very glad that tribute given to that. And in the second end credit is where he stops punching himself and says it's finally over. and that was it, right? Now, this isn't the first time Marvel has put a funny throwaway scene at the end. So, people being mad is kind of funny to me because, like I said, the Swarma scene in the first Avengers, it doesn't add anything, but it's just there because why not? Thor kissing Jane in Thor: The Dark World, or Captain America at the end of Homecoming with his like speech like, "Oh, you're still here? Go home," or whatever that was. Or the ant playing drums in one of the Ant-Man films. Marvel has always put one of these end credit scenes that means nothing. It's just here you go, a throwaway scene. But fans have come to expect so much more now that if the scene doesn't build up to the next film or a bigger universe, they feel mad. And like I said, I think Marvel has just built a reputation for themselves where people just expect so much more from them. So it's a lost situation. But there is an end credit scene right after the film ends, the first one, which does set up the future of Doctor Strange and maybe even the bigger Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't know, but as soon as I saw the purple outfit, I was like, yes, there we go. Charlize Theron is officially in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Clea. For those who don't know, Clea is Doctor Strange's wife, as well as the niece of Dormammu, and also becomes Doctor Strange after Steven. So this is a big character in Doctor Strange lore. And she comes in, she mentions that because Steven used the Darkhold in the film, he's created an incursion, and now they're headed to fix it. Maybe that's how the mutants come to the Earth, Maybe that's how mutants are brought to this Earth. Who knows? Two realities are about to collide. Maybe mutants drop in, and that's how the X-Men are introduced. Can't wait. I can't actually wait for the X-Men to finally show up. I thought it was going to be in this film, but, hopefully Phase 5 is when X-Men come in. Also, Steven has a third eye now because, like I said, he used the Darkhold, and it'll be interesting to see if that's gonna play a part of the Eye of Agamotto moving forward, because in MCU the Time Stone was in it. Now it's empty, it's pointless. So hopefully that eye is gonna play some part, because I don't think Benedict Cumberbatch is walking with a third eye in the entire film. So yeah, those were my thoughts about Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Sadness. Multiverse in Madness. It's a solid flick, but I think it falls victim to its own hype. However, I believe it's gonna be one of those films that people will like more down the line, like once the hype has settled down and people's expectations have come down and they watch it again somewhere down, they'll appreciate it for what it is rather than what they were expecting. Elizabeth Olsen is brilliant in this film. Hopefully we see her story continue in her own solo film. Like, give me Scarlet Witch, man. I want to see more Scarlet Witch. And also with Charlize Theron now part of MCU, can't wait to see her and Cumberbatch explore the dark dimensions and deal with all kinds of crazies in the future. So let me know what you guys thought about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Were your expectations met? Were you disappointed? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you next time. Peace.